Well, well, well. This is strange to me. I mean, what in the world is going on with Reuben Bain Jr.? I mean, first, it comes up about his arms being too short. And so there is a threat of his draft stock falling. And then just when you think all of that has settled down, and then all of a sudden, this thing comes up about a car incident, a motor vehicle crash from 2024. And now all of a sudden, again, Reuben Bain Jr.'s draft stock seems to be plummeting, or they're saying is going to plummet once again. You know, this has been well-known news in the NFL. We don't know if he's going to fall or not. But nevertheless, if he does fall, will the Dallas Cowboys be there at number 12 to catch him? And if he was there at number 12, will you be willing to pick him up? Let's talk Cowboys. We're about to talk facts. Hey, let's go. Man, better late than never. Had some things going on, had to take care of, but nevertheless, I had to check in on Dallas Cowboys Nation and give us an update on the latest news. Let's go. Let's get it. Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And if you like this, and as you come into this live stream, please hit that like button, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know the next time we post another video or go live. And yes, by the way, we are live. And if you haven't become a channel member, subscriber yet, what are you waiting on? We have a lot of great things coming up this season. Now let's talk facts. Man, we are going to have a pretty lengthy discussion about Reuben Bain Jr. This is shaping up to be one of the craziest things I've seen since Dak Prescott's dropped in the draft. I mean, there have been other players who have dropped in the draft because of rumors coming up right before the draft. And so now we got Reuben Bain Jr. out here, and we're going to talk about this incident from 2024, and then we're going to talk about whether or not this is going to drop the draft stock of one Reuben Bain Jr. Then we're going to listen to some other people talk about this. And I am telling you, man, some of this stuff, I can't tell you that I believe it, but there is somebody who is saying that there is a conspiracy that Jerry Jones is the one that leaked this. But while I don't think Jerry Jones is the one that leaked this, we are going to have a lengthy discussion on why now. Did somebody leak this because they are trying to get Reuben Bain Jr. to drop to them? We're also going to talk about there are about 4 teams now that it has become knowledge that they are trying to trade down in the draft. And I'm telling you now, the more these teams want to trade down in the draft, the Cowboys are going to be tempted, probably for the first time in a long time, to trade up in the first round to get the player that they want. All right, next. I found something that I want to talk to you about a player. Because, you know, Stephen A. Smith was losing his mind about George Pickens and Jerry Jones saying that George Pickens can make more money if he were to deal directly with him and cut out the agent. Well, there's a player in a recently released story that he also negotiated his deal or is negotiating his deal without an agent. And so the issue is, for people who think that if these players didn't have agents, they would get raked over the coals, I don't believe that to be true. I absolutely don't believe that to be true. And these players absolutely could do deals without agents. And I think they could get just as good of deals as they do with agents. And then DallasCowboys.com has released the first round mock drafts of a lot of the 3 and 4 letter networks around the country. So we're going to look at that and see what that looks like. So that's what we're going to be talking about. Reuben Bain Jr., the Jerry conspiracy, trading down of teams, no agent as it applies to players, first round mock for the Cowboys. Let's go. Yeah. All right. Let's get this quick roll call in. Then we're going to get this thing going. All right, Andre Johnson, DC4L. What's up, Andre? Let's go. Mose Logan, what's going on with you? He said, I know Bain have a pass. He said, gee, I know Bain have a pass, but I still want him as a Dallas Cowboy. Yeah, let's talk about it, Mose Logan. Dominique, the neighborhood skeptic. My man Dominique, the neighborhood skeptic, what's going on? Good to see you. Timothy Johnson, what's going on? Reuben Bain would have another Michael Parsons. We'd have another Michael Parsons. Let's go. Yeah. What's going on, Keith? Ron Hanna, what's going on? I'm gonna favorite what you just said, Ron Hanna, right there. Lord Nova, what's going on? John CB, good evening. What's going on, Jack Evans? Hallelujah. Salute. What's going on with you? Dolores Ennis. Good evening, my good brother. Good evening. What's going on? Good to see you, John Jones. He said, what up, G Money? I tell you once again, boy, it's a New Jack City Money Talks and Bullcorn runs a marathon. Mark Davis up in this thing. What's going on? Dak Owens is in here. He said, welcome to Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Come in, hit the like button. Let your opinion be heard, but also keep the chat clean. What's going on, Dak Owens? Good to see everybody. Kippy! My man Kippy, what's going on, Kippy? Good to see you. Let's go. Bass, what up, Bass? Junior, what up, Junior? Good to see you. Mo Eddie, what up, Mo Eddie? Mo Eddie said going to trade up for a linebacker. The Dallas Cowboys going to trade for a middle linebacker for the draft. We'll see. It might be Jordan Brooks. Queen, what's going on? Good to see you, Queen. Hobie D in here got my back. Oh, I'm going to show out today. What's up, Roosevelt? The real estate vet, what's going on? Good to see you. Carl Williams in this thing, what's going on? Them KJs, what's going on? So hit that like button. Frank Lawrence is in the neighborhood in the congregation. He said, take Bain, a guy that had been considered a top 5 pick before short arms and character issues stemming from a 4 a.m. fatal car accident where he was not given a breath or urine or blood test. Yeah, we about to talk about it. What's going on, Dak fan for life? Miss Matrix, what's going on? Lock and D, let's lock in. What's going on? Robert Simmons, what's going on with you? Edward Frazier, the draft is, I believe it starts next Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, right? Next Thursday? What up, GK from Alberta, Canada? What's going on? Texas Boy 1, Cedric Hamilton. What's going on, Head Hunter? Let's hunt. What's going on? DC for life. Production versus arm length. Yeah, the production is way better. Way better. Way better. All right, let's get this thing started. Hey, let's get this thing started. Start talking about Reuben Bain Jr. You know what? Y'all give yourselves a hand, best chat on. Give yourselves a hand, best chat on YouTube. What's going on, Richard Villegas? I'm telling y'all now, man, I don't care what anyone says. It's not that the things that people may be saying about Reuben Bain Jr. are not true. I mean, the arms are short. I mean, there are people even talking about the man's hairline. But on top of all of that, this incident actually did happen that they are talking about. But where I'm confused is, why now? Why now? This has been knowledge. I mean, and y'all know what's even crazier? Not only did a lot of the media outlets know this, now we're finding out all the football teams knew about this. And not one word has come up about this. But the closer now we're getting to the draft, and this is probably around the time, if there's any stories that are going to leak out, it's going to be about this time. And then all of a sudden, this story leaks out. And I don't know if it's necessarily even leaked out because the story was kind of, I guess, unacknowledged public knowledge. But somebody decided to put it out there in the court of public opinion. And, I'm going to tell you, this thing with Reuben Bain, it sounds like they've gotten this kind of settled with the family. And I'm sure this is something that he will never forget. The family will never forget. And I'm also, you know what? I could be crazy. Some people have been saying, there's going to be a lawsuit once he gets signed to a team. I don't think there's going to be a lawsuit. I wouldn't be surprised if the family and Reuben Bain Jr. have already worked out a deal. I mean, they probably knew he was a talented football player. The family probably already worked out a deal to where when you go pro, not going to make a big deal about this, there's probably some money promised to that family. And I hope that, when Reuben Bain, plays in this league, I hope he does in some form or fashion take care of that family, because we don't want to put football over life. Even though we know how people are. When you're talented at doing something, there's all kinds of things you can get away with. But man, these young people, young men, young women, they do dumb things. They do a lot of dumb things when they're young. We have to be careful sometimes trying to erase young people from society when they make mistakes. We'll try to erase somebody from society in a moment. And there have been other players that have made huge mistakes. Huge mistakes. Absolutely, people have lost their life, and those people have still been allowed to play football. So it's not for me to say that he shouldn't play football again. I don't even know if this is necessarily a character issue, even though there are some people that are saying they don't like the way he's answering some of the questions, or the way that he's answered some of the questions about it. But in the grand scheme of things, let me give you another side of this, because I want to make sure I acknowledge that family in the thing that transpired. I don't want to be disingenuous and disrespect that family. But it's obvious that they have decided that they're going to allow Reuben Bain Jr. to go on with his career, because like they said, this seems to have been settled. And again, on the back end, Headhunter, they probably got some of the NIL money. I would agree. And I would not be surprised if they're going to get some of that NFL money. And money don't replace a life. It does not replace a life. But it's something that the money, I don't care what anyone says, money can't take the place of a loved one, but it can help in some form or fashion. But again, let me get the flip side of this. Richard Evans, I think it's probably been some NIL money, but I'm not going to be surprised, Richard, if it's going to be some NFL money too. But in the grand scheme of things, with all of the adversity that this young man is facing, with all of the adversity, you want to talk about a player that is probably going to be absolutely rabid dog crazy on the field, it is probably going to be Reuben Bain Jr. I'm telling you. I think Reuben Bain Jr. is going to be an absolute monster. I mean, guys, just think about everything they have said about this young man. I mean, we already know he can play. But with everything they're saying about him, it's like, here we go again. He's dropping in the draft. He's dropping in the draft. Arms too short. Dropping in the draft. His hairline ain't got nothing to do with dropping in the draft, but people have been making fun of that. And now here we go with this incident. Oh, he gonna drop in the draft. I think there could be possibly dropping in the draft. But I'll tell you this. I don't think he's dropping past the Cowboys. I don't think he's dropping past the Cowboys. I think if he's there, I believe the Cowboys are going to get him. I don't think he drops below the Cowboys. I don't. If everyone passes up Reuben Bain Jr., I don't believe he makes it past the Cowboys. Because when you're talking about these incidents, you want to talk to the person and make sure this is not some kind of crazy character flaw. And then once you figure out this is not some kind of crazy character flaw, you check in with the family. It's not that you're getting permission from the family to draft Reuben Bain Jr. You want to talk to the family to let them know what you're doing and kind of and how did Reuben Bain in this situation, how did that interaction go? How did this whole thing play out? You know, no animosity, no character issues between them and the family. If all of that checks out, Reuben Bain Jr. doesn't make it past Cowboys, and he wouldn't make it past me if I'm the Cowboys at number 12 unless I found out there was some kind of issue. Because this reminds me eerily of someone else, Ray Lewis. After that incident with Ray Lewis, you know, a lot of people were saying that Ray Lewis, you know, he wasn't big enough to play linebacker and all these things and got to the pros and that incident happened. I mean, it really sparked a huge turnaround in the life of Ray Lewis. And I got a strange feeling that some of the things that are going on with Reuben Bain Jr., this seems to be calculated to me. This seems to be calculated. This seems to be calculated as a last-ditch effort by some team. I don't know which team it is. And I could be 100% wrong. But it seems to be a last-ditch effort for somebody to try to make sure that Reuben Bain Jr. falls to them. Somebody is trying, it just seems like to me, somebody is trying to make sure that Reuben Bain Jr. falls in this draft. I'm telling you now, Reuben Bain Jr. will not make it past the Cowboys. There is no way. And I can see Jerry Jones right now. And y'all already know, man, Jerry Jones has kind of made a habit of drafting players that fall in the draft because of some kind of incident or some kind of injury. Jerry Jones, he gives these players chances. Y'all tell me who else would have drafted Jalen Smith? Who else would have drafted Jalen Smith? I got another one for you. Not only who else would have drafted Jalen Smith, that was a severe injury. Let's go to a character issue. Anybody remember Randy Gregory? Randy Gregory, right before the combine, was predicted to be a top 5 pick. Randy Gregory was a freak athlete. Only for something today that wouldn't even be as big of a deal. Because now it's kind of like it's common knowledge that people do marijuana, as if people didn't know back then. I mean, people already knew these players were doing marijuana. But Randy Gregory seemed to have a little bit of an excessive problem with it. But what did Jerry Jones do? Jerry Jones got Randy Gregory. And worked with him and gave him chance after chance. And Jerry got Randy Gregory. Brandy, what's going on, Brandy? Brandy said Randy Gregory was a real criminal. Real estate vet. Randy was a beast. And y'all think about in today's time, Randy Gregory still probably would have went in the top 5 in today's time, even with smoking weed. Because now it's a lot more lax than it was back then. And then we got the other player. What was the lineman? The lineman that dropped in the draft. The Cowboys were able to get because as a matter of fact, the Cowboys tried to bring him back, I think it was last year. What was that lineman name? Let me see if I can figure out the name of this guy. He was an offensive lineman. He played for the Cowboys for quite a while. And the Cowboys got him on a crazy... I mean, this guy was supposed to be, if I'm not mistaken, he was supposed to be like a top 10 player in the draft. Lyle Collins. Dominique. Lyle Collins. Lyle Collins, I mean, plummeted in the draft. Lyle Collins was supposed to be a first-round draft pick, probably going in the top 10, top 15. Jerry Jones is known for giving players second chances. I got news for us. We got another player, whether anybody realizes it. We got another player on this team that is very popular, and the Cowboys gave him a second chance, and it is the reason why he plummeted all the way to the 4th round. Anybody want to take a wild guess at who that player was? That a DUI incident came up right before the draft, and he fell to the 4th round and still plays with the Cowboys today? I'll give you another hint. He's the highest paid quarterback in the league right now. Anybody remember who that is? Rain Dakota Prescott. A lot of people don't realize the reason why the Cowboys were able to get Dak Prescott in the 4th round. Dak Prescott was actually projected to go at the top of the 2nd round. He was supposed to be a 2nd round quarterback, and he plummeted all the way to the 4th round. Jerry Jones has a habit of giving these players that fall in the draft, for whatever these reasons are, if there's some kind of questionable thing, and Randy said he was a real criminal as far as Randy Gregory go. Lyle Collins, man, Lyle Collins, somebody should be sued for what they did to Lyle Collins. Then we got Dak Prescott. Jerry Jones is known for doing this. I'm sure there are some other teams, but I keep up with the Cowboys more than anybody. And I just know Jerry Jones is one of these people that does not mind giving people second chances. Yeah, and Golden, Golden Lion Eagle. Think about it. This is what's so dangerous about this, though. Lyle Collins, Golden. Lyle Collins wasn't found guilty of anything. Lyle Collins wasn't even involved. Dak Prescott, charges dismissed. Even with Reuben Bain Jr., this has already been settled. But nevertheless, that stuff, when it comes up right before the draft, that stuff can affect your draft status. It can affect your draft status. And there was even some talk, I forgot, Bass, there was even a little bit of talk about Zeke. But Jerry is known for hey, you know what? Player got some issues going on, but they're a very talented player. Jerry says, come on to Dallas. Come on to Dallas. We got a great system in place that can kind of keep you out of trouble. We can keep you out of trouble. And you can become a great football player in the process. And so I want to look at this thing for today on Reuben Bain Jr. as I'm talking about this. Because now I want to let you hear some other people talk about this. Because this Reuben Bain Jr. thing, I don't care what nobody say. This thing is strange. The timing of this thing is strange. Why didn't this come out all at the beginning when we're talking about Reuben Bain Jr.? It's just like stuff it's just one thing. It's one thing after another. Oh, his arms are too short. And then as we get close to the draft, yeah, you do remember he had an accident in 2024. Why now? Why now on Reuben Bain Jr.? I mean, this is crazy. I want you to listen to Mike Florio talk about this. Mike Florio saying some things that, man, he's making some sense here as it pertains to this thing with Reuben Bain Jr. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I forgot to save the link to it, but I want to see if I can pull it up. But what he starts to say about Reuben Bain Jr., man, I'm just telling you, this dude is making a whole lot of sense. Why in the world with this thing with Reuben Bain Jr., why is it coming up now? Why? All right, hold on a second.
They don't know the first.
All right, let me flip over to the Cowboys so we don't get no commercials here. Man, Mike Florio is dropping
Monday edition of
megaton bombs in this interview. Check this out.
PFT Live. This is something that landed yesterday. Ollie Connolly of the Read Optional Substack. I don't know what a Substack is. I think it's just like a blog. It's like a blog platform, and I think you have to pay, but you don't have to pay. You sign up, you still get it. I don't know how it works. But I do know this. There was a report that Reuben Bain Jr. was involved in a fatal car accident in 2024, and there's police reports. It's all buttoned up. It happened. There was a 22-year-old passenger in the car, and this is the worst part. Destiny Betts. She was a Georgia student visiting during, I think, spring break. Was seriously injured, was in a coma for 3 months, and eventually died. There were other injuries involved. And so now this is out there. But the reality is, this is the kind of stuff that teams easily find out. They have resources available to them. Yeah, that's right, Mike. Where they can find any police report that has named the player anywhere in the country.
Kevin Edwards, what's going on? Good to see you back in the congregation. What's going on, Kevin Edwards? Good to see you. Ron Hanna, he said, it sounds like a classic smear campaign to me. Man, hey, Hanna, wait till, man, Florio about to burn this thing to the ground.
Country. Like, they do it every year. They have access to the services where you put in the player's name, you put in the player's date of birth, and you're going to get anything that he's ever done, probably all the way down to parking tickets, anything.
Now Florio is making a great argument right off the top. All of the NFL teams They all knew about this. The crazy part is this wasn't even really made a big deal out of in the media as far as I can remember when it happened. This would have been big time news. And it seemed like maybe there was some kind of concerted effort to first sweep this under the rug because of the team that he's playing for. But then when it's time for him to go in the draft, somebody wants him on their team, and now they're putting this stuff out there. What's going on, Algon?
It is digital in a system anywhere. You're going to know. The teams know about it. This isn't some bombshell that someone's dropping to try to get a guy to fall in the draft. This is out there. Now, the thing that bugs me is the idea that here come the reporters who say, we've known about this forever. Well, why didn't you report it then? Don't tell me you knew about it, you didn't report it. Because it's worthy of being reported. It's a car collision involving a key player that resulted in a serious injury that culminated in death. Of course you should have reported it if you knew about it. Don't show
Now, why didn't they report on it? Why didn't they report on it? I'm pretty sure it's because, maybe I could be wrong, but he's playing on what, the Hurricanes? Man, this is how this world operates sometimes, unfortunately. I can't tell you that it's right. I'm just telling you how it operates. Sometimes when you're immensely talented at something, you can get away with things that regular, normal people can't get away with. You can't. You can't get away with it, but other people can because they're immensely talented. Because of the money that is involved in somebody that is immensely talented. When you're immensely talented, man, hey, how much you're tolerated is based on your talent level. And when you're immensely talented, man, sometimes people will, because they see the money, the things that you can do to help this or help that, sometimes things go away quietly. But now we're in a situation to where it's not about the money, it seems. It's about somebody wanting him on their team. At least it seems to me. So think about it like this in a sense. The same thing he benefited from now is probably going to be the curse. Because a lot of us couldn't be in a situation like that and there be nothing to it. No, it don't work like that. I've had people in my family who have been involved in these types of accidents, and I'm telling you right now, man, these are typically multi-million-dollar incidents. Man, don't nobody walk away from these types of things. I mean, I'm just telling you, I got a family member dealt with this, and I'm telling you, people don't walk away from these incidents and they don't be publicized and talked about, and there are not multi-million dollars transferring to somebody's hands because of this incident. But again, when you're immensely talented, you benefit from it sometimes. And then sometimes when you're immensely talented and depending upon who wants you and who don't, and then it comes back and gets you on another end. So it just makes you wonder, why didn't they report this when he was at school? Why didn't they report this when he was in Miami? How many people knew about this? It's public. It's not like it was sealed. It's public. But the reason why, and this goes to show you the power of the media in this world, and this is why Diana Rossini is in the trouble that she's in, is because media people control narratives. And if the media don't report on it, nobody will hardly know about it. If the media reports on it, the whole world knows about it. If the media gives their opinion on it, people take their certain opinions on it. And so we actually got people out there in the media, they're mad that the story is coming out now. Because they're like, this is what Florio was talking about. We've been knowing this. Even the teams have been knowing this. And now it's just all crazy because it's like, wait a minute. But it comes out now? Why now? It sounds like to me somebody want Reuben Bain Jr.
up to the table and act like, hey, I'm one of the cool kids that knew all along. All the teams knew, and I did too. You're failing your audience. It gets back to some of the issues and balances and standards we were talking about earlier. Why are you deliberately withholding it? Let everybody know.
I think sometimes, though, in that, too, like, I understand what you're saying. I'm not pushing back, but I think sometimes,
Hannah said it was
too,
reported. Okay.
people don't want to be the one that puts it out there, right? And is used to.
But it's fair game.
Well, yeah, I know it's fair game, but sometimes it's also used like.
Now, I think you and Ron Hanna are both making good comments. Ron Hanna says it was reported, believe me, back then. But I think Sub-Zero adds some more context to this. He says everybody that needed to know. And this goes back to what I'm talking about. Somebody said at that time, though, that everybody don't need to know. So while, as Ron Hanna is saying, maybe in that area, people knew. But it wasn't made into a national story to where any of us really remember it. I mean, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember it being like a major story. All the networks covering it and saying this and that about it. I don't remember that. And now all of a sudden, and again, watch this. Why didn't it come up at his pro day? They all knew it. Why didn't it come up at his pro day? But it comes up the last couple of days. Come on. This is stinky. It's stinky. It's absolutely stinky. And that's why even some of the media members are mad that it actually got reported. They're mad. Brandy said if Reuben falls to us, could they suspend him? Because Goodell will suspend Cowboys players that are acquitted in the courts. He hates us. Appreciate that super chat. Probably not, Brandy. Probably not. Too far removed. Probably not. Mendoza says the timing of the report coming out smells like something fishy. Let the family and Bain Jr. Oh, hey, Mendoza. I think they've already worked it out. As somebody mentioned earlier, I think they got some of that NIL money. And I also think something was worked in there. They're going to get some of that NFL money too. Kevin Edwards said, wow, G, this is the first time I heard about this big news. Yeah. I'm telling you. Somebody had the guts to report it. Sub-Zero said, good news is he won't drop like Sanders. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I'm just looking at both sides of this. The family is obviously, whatever they came up with, they are settled in their minds. So Sub-Zero, on that note, only thing I care about is him dropping to the Cowboys. I would love to have Reuben Bain Jr. on this team. The team that gets Reuben Bain Jr., they are going to get an absolute rabid dog. They are going to get a rabid dog. Trust me when I tell you.
Why is that agent telling me that? Oh, because he's not his player. He wants me to release that to crap on the player now and make his life worse. And, I do think there's some out there that they just go, I don't want to be a part of that. Okay, I know the story. Somebody else will break it. I'm not going to be a part of it, right? I do think that happens at times. But you're right. It's a major story, and it's a superstar. But also, I think people would be shocked at how many times, as we know, and there's ones that you've heard me joke about in the viewing room at NBC, where stuff has gone on and you've gone, this is like a big deal that, everybody in the NFL knew. It never became public knowledge, and it was like just one of those stories that kind of flew under the radar. But for whatever reason, it didn't really get put out there, and that seems to happen in the draft. But, yeah, this is a serious one. But to your point, the teams know about this, and they've known about it forever. That's the point.
Back to the point of consciously.
The teams have known about it. Yeah, Dominique, I know what you're talking about. Maybe the league can step in. I don't think they are, though. But you said, look at how they did Zeke. No mugshot, no police, nothing. And it took them a year and a half to suspend him for 6 games after him playing half the season. I don't think they're going to do that, though, in this situation. What up, Reggie TX? Felon Pred, he said, hey, and Felon Pred, again, I think this is common knowledge. You must handle your role players differently than your star players. Jimmy Johnson did. Shoot, Jimmy would find a lower level player to make an example of somebody. Hey, you're fired. Yeah, this has been drilling to every athlete from day one. This is not something new to an athlete. And it even transcends being an athlete. If you're good at a lot of things and making people money, man, you'd be shocked. And you wouldn't, but I'm saying people would be shocked. JCT Slice said, gee, he could fall for sure, bro. If he does, we got to get him. Yeah, I think the Cowboys will get him if he drops the 4. Think they will. JCT Slice said we still have 4. Yes, sir. I think it's a possibility he could drop the 4. Jeremy Betts, hope you're having a good day too. Sub-Zero said, I think you're right about Bain. I also think that whoever gets him will get more than they know. Yeah, Bain will use this as a battle cry and the team will embrace it. Yeah, man. It'd be a great story for us. Smoke Check. What up, Smoke Check? He said, gee, I think if he was a Jag, it would have been all over every sports network. But because he's immensely talented, it wasn't. Yeah. Amen. No doubt, Smoke Check. Yeah, no doubt. Glenn Harrison said, remember, his arms are too short. That's the excuse teams will use for not drafting him. I bet the Cowboys won't use it. I guarantee you, they're going to get him if he's there. Ron Hanna said, man, all teams do this, G. These teams run back checks on your family, not just the player. And again, Ron Hanna, I heard one of the coaches from the Detroit Lions today said, we already knew this. He said it doesn't affect our view of him. And I think this is kind of where quite a few teams were, but you never know. Man, the draft is so strange. Man, you could have a booger on the edge of your nose and you'll drop in the draft if people were reported at the wrong time.
Choosing not to report on it, that's fine. But don't brag that you knew about it all along.
Okay. I hear you. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I hear you. Totally.
There's something unseemly about that.
Yeah. You're
There's
right about
something
that.
Like,
that's what's annoying about it.
I'm on the inside.
Totally.
Well, do your job then.
Yeah.
Do your job or don't do your job.
Yeah, or just shut
but
up
don't
and
tell
let
us
it
after
be
the
out.
fact.
Exactly.
I could have done my job if I had done my job.
Yeah.
So, as it relates to the teams knowing, and it doesn't matter if it becomes public, there is one way, and this depends on the team involved. And I'm not saying there's any one team. I'm just saying it can be any team. Once something like that becomes public, that's when the owner can start to become a little skittish.
Sure.
If it's not known, and there's no reason to believe it will be known, you feel one way. Once it's out there, you may feel a different way. And sometimes maybe things get leaked. I don't know.
Now, I want you to follow something that Florio is saying that is very important. Don't let this part go over your head. It's one thing that the teams knew it. It's another thing that the media knew it and chose not to report on it. It's another thing that the Miami area knows about it, as Ron Hanna talked about. But this is what people fear. The court of public opinion. There are so many people in this country that when they are on the losing end of something, they will use the court of public opinion to try to sway the thoughts of people involved. A lot of people don't realize, man, the court of public opinion is powerful. It is powerful. Man, the court of public opinion will deem you guilty when you're innocent and innocent when you're guilty, depending upon how the story is swung. And so this is why I think one of the reasons why they kept it away from the court of public opinion early on. But somebody now is saying, nah, we want this in the court of public opinion because we want to affect where he falls in the draft. It's no wonder to me. It makes sense that the family would not do something like this because I'm telling you, I have a family member that was involved in one of these incidents that takes somebody's life. You don't settle for 3 or 4. I'm telling you now, you don't settle for 3 or 4 million. You do not settle for $3 or $4 million. These are typically multi-million-dollar cases that would exceed NIL money. There is no way the family would do this because I guarantee you there's something on the back end for that family to get money from this NFL money. They're not going to do it. That's why there's so, it's really kind of common sense. Hey, we settled this. We hope he have a great career. Of course you hope he have a great career. I'm not even being funny. Of course you hope he have a great career. Man, let me tell you something. I'm in the forgiveness business. But somebody taking the life of one of your children, there ain't enough money in the world. There ain't enough money in the world. Ain't no NIL check. Ain't no NIL check to satisfy me on that. I'm saying that because I'm sure this is not the family. Somebody wants Reuben Bain Jr. to fall. Because somebody wants Reuben Bain Jr. Somebody wants Reuben Bain Jr. It's the only thing that makes sense. Why didn't this come out at the pro day? Why didn't it come out last week, 3 weeks ago? No, well calculated, because people like to put things into the court of public opinion because they want to hear what people have to say. And so let me tell you about some people. Jerry Jones is a lot different than some people. Some people will fall to the pressure of the court of public opinion. Because if enough people will holler, somebody they say, oh, no, we're not getting him. Meanwhile, Jerry Jones will weather the storm and say, yeah, I'm bringing in Greg Hardy. Jerry Jones will do stuff like that. He'll weather the storm when a lot of people are not willing to weather the storm. Hey, let me tell you something. I see y'all talking about the Eagles. I've already heard that that's one of the names they threw out there were the Eagles. Johnny Jackson said if Jalen Carter's a hero, then so can Reuben Bain Jr. Yeah. Head on, somebody's playing with multiple people's mental health. Yeah. Hey, man. This is the game. And let me tell you something. If I would have been Reuben Bain's agent, or if I'd have been in Reuben Bain's circle, I'd have told him, hey, bro, get ready. You got a special talent, man. This is going to come back up when you get ready to go to the NFL, so get yourself ready. And here it is.
To try to scare off certain owners.
Yep.
That will then...
There it is. The court of public opinion scares off the weak at heart. The court of public opinion will always scare off the weak at heart. You got to be a special kind of person to be able to endure the court of public opinion. Especially when you have done something and have been exonerated and forgiven for it. You got to have a strong will. And there are a lot of people, they don't want the headache. Certain owners, oh, no, we don't want the headache. Certain coaches, we don't want the headache. We don't want what comes along with that media circus. Well, Jerry Jones, the media is never too big for Jerry Jones. Never too big. Yep. Johnny Jack, I'm with you. I don't think he's a bad dude. Bass said that's why they don't like it going public. They'd rather keep it private. Yep. Sub-Zero said, and Jerry brought in Pac-Man Jones, Tank Hardy. We all bought in. You know why? Because a lot of us are regular people. A lot of us are regular people. Yeah, we want people to play well for our team. But we're regular people, man. A lot of us just believe in second chances. A lot of us believe in second chances, man. Poobie D said, I hope they do this with Styles too. Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm with you, Poobie D. Let them all fall to us. They talking about Caleb Downs falling. Man, we'll take Reuben Bain Jr. and Caleb Downs with degenerative knee disease. Shoot, we take both of them. Bring them on. Roy Hannah said, Michael Vick, anybody? Yes, sir. Juddy Jackson, yeah, drunk driving is a mistake. Bad driving is, though. Yeah. Thank you, sir. All right, let's listen to Florio, man. Florio dropping dimes on this thing.
Cause the player to fall because, look, Jalen Carter is the apples-to-apples comparison. Jalen Carter was involved in a fatal car accident months before the 2023 draft. He was charged. They ultimately resolved it. I remember with the combine, waiting to interview him. Oh, he left.
Yeah.
He left the combine.
Yeah.
Why'd he leave? Well, he had this issue. So what happens? He falls to number 9. The Eagles don't hesitate. They have a guy that was second for Defensive Rookie of the Year in 23, Pro Bowler in 24, Pro Bowler in 25. That's what they got. And other than the spitting incident with Dak Prescott, it hasn't been an issue.
Yeah.
Nope.
He hasn't been an issue for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah, that's where it's
I don't
tough.
know. Maybe the guy needs to fall just enough to get a wake-up call. Maybe that's the takeaway. Like, if it doesn't affect you at all, maybe you don't learn the lesson. But when you should be top 5 and you end up going 9th, maybe that's enough
to wake
the
you
team
up.
can use to try to speak to your better angels and get you to not do things that you've already done.
Yeah, well, definitely.
And look,
yeah.
kids do dumb shit at that age.
Exactly.
I'm not saying it's a character flaw. People do dumb things. Their brains haven't fully developed. They drive their cars too fast. They engage in reckless behaviors. They do stupid things. Every child who grows to that.
Now, let me tell you another reason why. Let me tell you another reason why what Florio is saying makes sense. It's biblical in a sense. That when the people complained in the wilderness, God allowed those who were 20 and under to go on. And all the older people, God said, no, you're not going, and done away with them. And one of the reasons is, I think the Bible is teaching us something about young folks sometimes and how their mind is not quite developed in the way that it should be. And when you take an 18-year-old child or young man or young woman, I just want you to imagine what you would have been. You graduate high school, you go to college, you're 19, 20 years old, and you're 18, 19, or 20 years old in college, and you get handed a check for $5 million. Man, you got people who couldn't even barely balance their allowance. And now you're putting millions of dollars in their hands. You're putting $100,000 cars, $200,000 cars, jewelry, and all these other things. Man, sometimes these people need guidance when they're young and getting that kind of money. And you give a young, immature, young person millions of dollars, they become a millionaire overnight, go out there and do some of the dumbest stuff. They'll go out there and do dumb stuff. Straight up, just dumb stuff. It just is what it is.
Age is capable of doing something dumb. I did dumb shit at that age.
Me too. I tell my wife to this day. I mean, she's we were married when I was that age, and sometimes she goes, "Why'd you do this?" Or "Why?" I was dumb. I don't know. I was 24. I was an idiot. Like, I mean, it's not. Don't do that to me. But yeah, I mean, it's a bad look, no doubt. Doesn't help Reuben Bain, certainly. And I think the thing that it does, kind of what you're talking to and doing as well with the ownership, is it brings up the "I told you so" aspect. Wow, now there's public pressure. Okay, so there's public pressure if we draft the guy. And what happens is if he makes a mistake in his rookie year or the second year, everybody's going to go, well, you knew he did this. What were you thinking? He obviously had reckless behavior. And that's what can scare the owner, right? Let me answer a question about Henry Ruggs.
Let me tell you where I am with Henry Ruggs. Once again, if I was a team and I'm going to bring in Henry Ruggs, one of the things I want to talk, one of the things I'm going to do, I am going to talk to the family of the victim. And the reason why I want to talk to the family of the victim, again, I'm about to give y'all a side of this, and I hope some of y'all understand where I'm coming from. Money doesn't take the place of a lost loved one, but it can help that family live better with someone that they're missing. It'll never take the place of them. But I would definitely like to talk to that family and just kind of see where they are on this. Because if Henry Ruggs, for the rest of his career or during his football career, if there is something in place that says that Ruggs is paying for whatever he did, I want to give Ruggs the opportunity, and I'm sure that family would too. I would want to give Ruggs the opportunity to be able to pay for whatever he did. He can never really repay it. He can't repay it. But if there was some restitution that he was going to give that family, I want to give him the opportunity to do it. I also want to give I also want to give Henry Ruggs III, I want to give him that opportunity to go out there and reform your life. Become an advocate for the mistake that you made. Become an advocate for not doing what you did. Go out there in the NFL. Talk to young players. Tell them, don't make the mistake that you made. Don't do the dumb thing that you did. You go out there and you turn that into a testimony to help other people. And whatever that family would want to do to help their own family or be a part of situations like this, support all of those things. I would want to give Henry Ruggs III that opportunity. And I would also want to talk to that family and see, is this kind of where y'all are on this? I mean, where are you on this? I really would. I mean, sometimes, man, we got to understand something, that to rob somebody totally of a second opportunity, we may not just be robbing that person. We may be actually robbing the people that they affected, the lives they affected, and how they could actually help those people in whatever they're going to do for the rest of their life, whether it be the contracts and some of the organizations or things they could create. I mean, the Bible, man, says something that people have to, it's a scary thought, but all things work to the good of those who love the Lord. Man, there are things sometimes that come out of tragedy. You know, that's kind of where I am. That's why I would definitely talk to the family on that. And again, this thing on Reuben Bain Jr., the family, it seems to be settled as far as what we know on the surface. And they said, let him go have a good career. I'm pretty sure I know why they're saying that too.
There's a little bit's going on, let's say, with James Pierce in Atlanta right now. He had, going into the draft, people knew there was off the field issues. There was things that scared people a little bit. Atlanta took that chance. Now the rest of the league and Arthur Blank are going, this is why I fired Raheem Morris and whatever. I mean, damn, look at this. Oh, no, I got to deal with this now. So that's what happens when it gets put out there. And yes, could it end up maybe making Reuben Bain fall a few spots? Certainly. And yeah, you're right. I mean, the difference between being picked number 3 and number 9 is millions and millions of dollars. And that'll definitely wake people up and learn a lesson that way. But yeah, this is a tough situation and certainly going to be a little more pressure on it now with it being out there in the public.
I haven't really thought about it, Chris, but yeah. I guess I've noticed without affirmatively noticing, over the years, there's been less of a frenzy by reporters to find and publish information about off-field issues involving the incoming players.
Would agree.
And maybe the reporters are being more responsible. Maybe the teams are engaging less frequently in these underhanded activities where it's very simple. If you really like a guy, you put some bad stuff out there about him so he'll fall to you. And it's a Machiavellian.
Yeah, and see, again, Baz, see, this is the part that people don't understand. You know, when you get a person like a Reuben Bain, a person like a Henry Ruggs III, we gotta understand, in the grand scheme of things, you let this play out in the court, not in the court of public opinion. And then once that plays out, whatever you set up for restitution, that those people, once they get that trial and they are, even if they're not saying they're innocent, but they've been exonerated. Well, now that process is playing out, well, let them go back to doing what they were doing. Give them that second opportunity, not just for them. Give them that second opportunity for the family they affected. Let them help that family they affected. Let them go out there, and you never know what kind of person they're going to turn. If they turn into a great person that advocates for not doing the things that they did, I mean, you don't get your loved one back, but you get a better way of living to help you deal with it. And you never know what the relationship could become between those people. So, you know, we got to be careful sometimes, man. We'll rob people of an entire, of turning things around.
Machiavellian approach, and it hurts the kid, but it helps you. You want the kid on your team so badly that you're willing to instigate a draft day slide that will cost him millions of dollars. Yeah. Because you want that kid on your team.
Totally. And the other thing, too, I think that's different.
That has happened.
You're right, 100%. And I think that's where maybe it's a little different now as compared to the old days, maybe 15 years ago. Yeah, there was a little bit more leaning on people. Wait, did you hear this story? Did you know this story? You had to go that
Hannah,
way.
You said that Miami took care of it.
Started the conversation with now, everything's so digital that it's all there. The teams know. Not only do we talk about the area scout, right? Whoever we got in charge of the Southeast and in charge of the Miami Hurricane scouting there, they're going to know those stories. And then I can speak to it from my own personal experience working for the New England Patriots, what you talked about. I was there, one of the guys, I got a checklist today, guys that are coming out in the draft. I got to crack through it here. I got to go through the databases, put their names in, put little key phrases in to see if it comes up with anything that comes up there, that they might have gotten in trouble that kind of flew under the radar or we didn't find out about it. So the teams now have more of that available than ever before and are all over it to where maybe that's why it's not, put on blast maybe quite like it was in the old days where people had to actually talk and call each other to figure things out.
Well, and just hopefully the teams have realized that it's not fair to the players to try to instigate a slide, to whisper to someone, hey, you should write this story. Hopefully the sport has evolved for the better in that way. Remember the Wonderlic test used to be a huge deal. Right. They don't even do it anymore. Thank God. That thing was so unreliable. The players would show up not even knowing they were going to take it. They don't care. Some guys were prepared on it. Some guys had no idea. It was an agent problem more than a player problem. And those numbers would get leaked. They would get leaked, and they would get weaponized. And, again, there were astute and very shrewd people in front offices who were using the media to try to get the guy they want. I just feel like that doesn't happen to the same extent now. Yeah. And but this Reuben Bain thing, I don't know how it came out now, why it came out now, but it came out and we know about it. And we'll see if and when he gets drafted. He will. Will it affect him? We don't know. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the
Yeah,
latest
man.
news and analysis from
Yeah, it's crazy this is coming out. Well, now this is the funny part of the story. So now there is a conspiracy out there, or somebody's trying to start a conspiracy. Somebody's trying to start a conspiracy that Jerry Jones could be behind this. Yeah, they're saying that Jerry Jones could be behind the Reuben Bain Jr. story. And the person that is talking about this is none other than Skip Bayless over on Gil's Arena. I'm telling y'all right now, man, Skip is way better over there on Gil's Arena. This is Skip Bayless saying the same thing that I've seen some of y'all put in the chat. Skip Bayless is saying he wouldn't be surprised. He said he wouldn't put this past Jerry Jones. Check this out.
I'm going to start with a quote that I saw this morning from an NFL executive, anonymous, but a quote nonetheless. It doesn't feel like Bain has been transparent with us, meaning in his pre-draft interviews, combine interviews, he didn't volunteer this information and try to own this information ahead of the draft. Right or wrong, maybe to your point, he just said, well, it was just an accident and there's no reason for me to bring it up. There was a lawsuit filed in Miami and settled in Miami over this, and I'm going to assume her family was involved in this. And I agree with everything you've said about the tragedy of this, that there are 3 Miami players in the car. One driving is Reuben Bain, and they're all okay, and she's in a coma and dies 3 months later. Now, why the charges were dropped 2 weeks before she died, I don't know. And back to no field sobriety test administered at the scene. Okay, so you could leap to 2 conclusions there. One would be, oh, he's a U player, plays for the U, and so they just said, we'll let this one slide. But when there's a potential fatality involved, I don't think they're going to let it slide at the scene, because he hit 2 different embankments, and it was a big, it wasn't a fender bender. And the other thing, the conclusion you could leap to, which may be the right conclusion, is that he showed 0 signs of any impairment, and they just said there's no reason to administer a field sobriety. So, because he didn't divulge this and all of a sudden it's being leaked, I think, to your point, it will hurt a little. And yet, there have been so many of these. I've been doing this for a long time. I go all the way back to a guy you know very well. I think he was your mentor, Warren Sapp. What happened to Warren Sapp was back in the days when marijuana was taboo, and he failed supposedly a marijuana test. It was leaked just before the draft. And I don't know, Warren Sapp coming out, I thought he could have been the first pick. Kijana Carter went first, which was a bad idea. But he fell all the way to 12th in that draft, 1995. And the Eagles, do you remember Mike Mamula? I don't know if you guys remember him, but he was a combine workout warrior who was a complete swing and miss bust by the Eagles. He went 7th. So that would have been, for sure, Warren's going to go to the Eagles at 7. He goes 12 to Tampa. And the rest is NFL history, because he's in the Hall of Fame. And Laramie Tunsil has a chance to be in the Hall of Fame because he's now a 5-time Pro Bowler. And he starts, obviously, with the Dolphins. And then Bill O'Brien in Houston gives up 2 1s to get him in a trade. So it worked out, right? It worked out okay for Laramie Tunsil. And then remember Lyle Collins? I don't know if you remember him, Cowboys. So he's an All-American tackle at LSU. And just before the draft, it is leaked and broken that because a woman he had had a past relationship with, who was pregnant at the time, had been murdered, had been shot and killed, and that the Louisiana police simply wanted to question him about the matter. And he was completely absolved later but this came right before the draft. They were going to talk to him, not even as a person of interest, just to do background check on what happened, see if he had any information. And he would have gone top 10, seriously, top 10.
Yep, that's what they
And
were
he
saying.
goes undrafted.
Yeah.
Undrafted. And Jerry's like, thank you very much. We'll take him. And they sign him as an undrafted free agent. And he was pretty good. He started a bunch of games. He went to Cincinnati, came back to Dallas twice. He was pretty good, but he never quite lived up to being a top 10 type pick. But it felt to me like that almost broke some of his spirit, like he never quite was able to rise up
dropping
out
some
of
facts
that.
right now,
And
Kevin
He did
Edwards.
have a drug issue later in his career and had a substance abuse suspension. But my point is, this happens, it seems like, every year. And you mentioned Aqib. You're looking at 12 or worse now that he could fall that far. Well, Dallas picks 12th. And if I know Jerry Jones, I wouldn't put it past Jerry to leak something like this just because he knew the background. I'm not saying he did, but this is the Jerry I know because I was around him a lot in Dallas. And this happens all the time, that a team will leak something like this when they've done their homework and research, and they're totally cool with it. Like it was just an accident.
Yeah.
He rear-ended the guy. He just didn't stop fast enough and rear-ended the guy. And it was a tragedy, but it was a tragic accident. Okay, so maybe Jerry's had a long list of off-the-field hellraisers. His all-time favorite player is Michael Irvin, who frankly made Aqib look like a choir boy, right? Seriously. No, I mean, Michael was just played completely out of control until it was time to play football, right?
He was.
And so Jerry is used to that kind of behavior. Even Ezekiel Elliott had stuff off the field at Ohio State, and Jerry took him 4th overall. So would Jerry take Reuben Bain now? Again, I don't know the exact background that they're checking into as we speak, but yeah, he probably would. He'd probably love it if Reuben Bain fell to 12. So I think Reuben Bain's going to be a really good football player. That's all I know for sure.
There is no doubt in my mind that Skip spoke. Now, the part about Jerry Jones leaking the story. The part about Jerry Jones leaking the story. Okay, we gonna pump the brakes on that part. But if Reuben Bain Jr. is at 12, and the Cowboys don't trade up, ain't no way. They're getting Reuben Bain Jr. if he's there at 12. There is no way if Reuben Bain Jr. is there at 12, he don't get picked up by the Cowboys. He will get picked up by the Cowboys. I guarantee you. I guarantee you he'll get picked up by the Cowboys. There is no way Jerry Jones will let that player slide. There is no way he'll let that player slide. So let's go over here to Aqib Talib. Aqib Talib gives his little spin on it. And then we'll listen to Gerald. Aqib is not as long-winded as Skip Bayless.
Character issues, so to speak. So, I mean, I think it will affect his draft stock.
Do you? Wow.
Yeah, I mean, even though the careless driving charges was dropped, I think it'd be looked at as a character issue, so to speak. So, I mean, you just said Tunsil, he had a little situation. You look at Jalen Carter, he had a driving situation. He was supposed to be a top 3 pick. He dropped to number 9. Rest in peace,
Tatiana,
Kyron
what
Lacy.
up?
He was a top 10 receiver, probably gonna go 2nd, 3rd round. He dropped off a lot of people's boards. So I think it's just been too many cars / racing / wreck situations for it not to hurt his draft stock.
Yeah.
So, I think this is a guy who already facing physical concerns, right? And if it was just physical concerns, I think he still would go top 6 pick. He wouldn't make it to 6. But now you got physical concerns, then you got the character concerns. I think it's going to drop him to about 12 plus. And it might not seem like a big deal. You know, you go 6, you go 12, you still got drafted, you still happy, but you look at the number 6 pick last year, he got 35 million guaranteed. Number 12 pick got 22 million guaranteed. So talking about a lot of M's in the difference of them picks, man. So I think it will. I think the two situations combined, and then it just coming to the light. It's, you know, they wrote the story about it right before the. You hate to see it, but
right before the draft.
Right before the draft, you hate to see it, but I don't see how some teams don't look at it as a character issue.
Again, court of public opinion. Court of public opinion. Some owners are afraid of the court of public opinion. They run from it. Jerry, we already know. Jerry don't care nothing about the court of public opinion. Jerry going there with his shoes off, showing out. Jerry don't care. So we'll see what happens at 12.
Okay, so you say it will, but do you think, knowing what you've read and heard, should it impact his draft status?
I gotta say, yeah, man. If it impacts everybody else, shit, Lieb had a car incident before the draft. It was way before the draft, but it came out during the draft. It might have been why McKelvin and DRC went before me. So, I mean, if it affects everybody else, like Fernando Mendoza, you don't see him coming up with car situations and car wrecks that put, you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like he got to be treated like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So if you got situations like that come up, hey man, you got to deal with it just like everybody else. So I got to say yeah.
Man. Oof, that's tough. Let's check out Gerald. Gerald throws his 2 cents in. And I think this is a very good discussion they're having. And Gerald, he gives a whole different take on this. Check him out.
I don't think so. The reason I say is because teams have already said they looked into it and they were okay with his explanation of it. It wasn't a DUI, didn't get arrested, got a couple citations, and they all got dropped. I think the big reason it won't be is because of Destiny Betts' family. And I'm saying her name because the family said they want to honor her memory as much as they can. So with our platform, having all the views we get, to Destiny Betts' family, we praying for y'all that y'all can keep pushing forward. But
I will not be surprised that if Reuben Bain Jr. gets drafted to the NFL, I will not be surprised if Jeremy Betts does some kind of foundation or something to Destiny Betts' family. I will not be surprised. I absolutely will not be surprised.
Said they wish him all the best. And they understand that it was just an accident. So this is just what happens. The closer you get, and you have teams who are they're going to make an investment into this player. And if they're thinking of taking him top 5, they're going to dive deep into different things that have happened. My story, I was drafted number 3. I had elementary school teachers that reached out to me and said, hey, the Buccaneers was up here. One of my high school coaches said, hey, the Buccaneers just came by the building and this and this. Like elementary school? What are you gonna learn about me from elementary school? I was in elementary, but this is how much research these people do. So it's just that time of year, man. It's close to the draft, but teams he's saying, and there is literally no legal action that took place. So
it is though.
It was and everything got dropped.
I mean, but it still took place.
Yeah, but it got dropped.
But
it was a citation. He didn't get arrested. It wasn't a DUI. He didn't even get a sobriety test.
All right, so have you ever got in a car wreck?
Yeah.
Did you get a careless driving charge?
No.
That's what I'm saying. So evidently it was something there that made them say this careless driving, gave him the citation. It was something there that made.
It was at 4 a.m.
You feel me?
But he didn't get a field sobriety test, and he didn't get a DUI. He didn't get arrested. So
well, you can fight those on the scene sometime, right? So maybe we don't know what happened.
I'm just saying, I've been in car wrecks. I've been in a car wreck before.
Careless driving is in and out of lanes, going way over the speed limit. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. But that's a character issue, or is that just driving?
I mean,
That makes him a bad person or not a
I
hard
ain't
worker?
saying it makes him a bad person. All I'm saying is,
if driving fast and not using signals is a character issue, boy, there's a lot of people in Dallas, in the Dallas area, that have terrible character, man.
with all the car racing situations that's going on, the linebacker from Georgia last year, you know what I'm saying? With all the situations going on, I can't see the owner saying, "Oh, it was 4 a.m. He got a careless driving, or it got dropped. But all right, he good." Like, I'm just saying,
I can't, Jerry Jones.
I wish the best for the man.
Yeah.
I'm just talking to just putting it all in perspective. I don't see how a owner won't look at it and say, put him in the same boat as them other guys, even though he didn't. The charges got dropped and everything. The family is okay with what happened. Still, it still happened. It still was 4 a.m. You still got a careless driving charge. What you said is way over the speed limit, in and out of lanes, or you feel me? It was something going on. So I don't know.
And he was a sophomore.
That's just the tag they're gonna put on you.
It was in 2024. He's a sophomore when it happened. You know, we mature over the years. So if teams say they talk to him and they okay with his explanation, you know.
Yeah, I think it's just the risk too. Obviously, Rashid Rice, we just saw get suspended for 6 games.
Yeah.
If you're a team, you're realizing, like, if something like this does happen, 6 games, I mean, that really hurt the Chiefs last season.
I mean, guys get character issues for less stuff. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah.
Oh, Cody.
First off, I want to give my condolences to the friends and family of Destiny Betts. She sounded like a great young woman that was working towards her degree, and unfortunately, her life was cut short. And this is a tragic accident. And I just want to offer my thoughts and prayers to her family as they are having to relive this as it gets brought back up in the media, which can be extremely difficult. Now, when it comes to Reuben Bain and will this impact his draft stock, that is for these teams, these coaches, and these GMs to decide, right? They're going to go in and review everything and look at this from a bigger picture, and they're going to have to decide if they think that he is going to have character issues off the field and if there's going to be cause for concern once they add him to their football team. But to your point, Gerald, I do agree, because this to me, as unfortunate as it was, and if you read the police report and you look at all the stories that are out there, just sounds like a tragic and unfortunate accident, because Reuben Bain was cited for careless driving, but then that eventually got dropped after they did the investigation. He was also never under the influence, or they never thought that he was under the influence of drugs or alcohol. And in the end, after the investigation was done, he was never held criminally liable for anything relating to this case. And that was another important thing, is that Destiny Betts' family, the young woman that lost her life, they came out and said that this was quoted as a tragic accident. And they also went on to say, we wish Reuben Bain success in both his career and his life going forward. So as terrible of a situation this was, to me, when you read everything and look at it through the police report and through all the investigation that was done, it does just sound like a very tragic accident that unfortunately led to someone losing their life.
Well, I say again, if the family is cool with it, because I told y'all earlier, I would talk to the family, and if the family is cool with it, hey, let the man live his life. Let him live his life. Bottom line, let him live his life. Because I'm sure there are many of us that, we've made some mistakes or done some stupid things that we definitely wouldn't want those things to be held over our head for the rest of our life, to where we couldn't do what we're talented at and contribute to society. But again, it's a tough situation. But again, Ron Hanna said these teams play dirty. Somebody leaked it to the public. It's all to make him fall. I agree. Ron Mack said the part that gets me is that a lot of these ones standing in judgment are living foul every day before and after church homes. Gotta give him a chance, man. It is what it is. His family said they cool with it. His family said they hope he has a great career. So they said it was an accident. I really don't know what else to. I don't know what else to say on that note. I mean, if the family says it's good, it's good. Okay, Reggie Tears, it's Cody Kessler. Okay. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Tatiana said, yep, I remember somebody talking about this. They brought up the David Bailey photographer incident. Yeah. I remember nobody made a big deal out of it, but I saw it. So, all right, I got a quick hit for us real quick. Well, I guess I got a quick hit segment for us real quick. So, the closer we get to the draft, the more we're finding out that there are teams that want to trade back. And we already know it's been said that the Cowboys are the team that people are saying are the most likely to trade up. And so these are the teams now that it seems to be Albert Breer is reporting. These teams in particular now are interested in trading back. And I think one of the reasons why some of these teams are willing or ready to trade back, I think it's simply because based on their needs, or maybe just even talent evaluation, I've been hearing more and more that there are people who are saying that this isn't a very talent-laden draft. Yes! Here we go! And so now we have five teams that they are interested, according to Albert Breer, they are wanting to trade down. They are wanting to trade down. Hold on a second. Let me put this in the computer. They want to trade down. And these teams, we already knew, Arizona Cardinals. The one that is shocking to me is the Tennessee Titans. I'm shocked on the Tennessee Titans because I'm telling you, man, whoever trades with the Tennessee Titans, they're trying to get Jeremiah Love. Whoever trades up with the Tennessee Titans, they would have to be trying to get Jeremiah Love. Of course, we got the New York Giants. They're saying the New York Giants want to trade back. They're saying the Cleveland Browns. We already know about that. The Cleveland Browns, they want to trade back. And the deal that everybody keeps talking about is the Cowboys taking their number 6. They get the Cowboys 12. They get the Cowboys 20. And then we get their number 6 and then the number 39 pick. So this is what everybody is saying. So the team most likely to trade back, or the team that's most likely to trade up, is the Cowboys. Here we go. So we're going to see if the Cowboys want to trade up, they're going to have an opportunity. Now, I'm pretty sure the Cowboys will not trade up with the New York Giants and the Washington Commanders. We might as well erase them out of there. They're in the NFC East. It's down to the Arizona Cardinals, the Cleveland Browns, and the Tennessee Titans. I think the Cleveland Browns is probably the sweet spot. Because if you go to Arizona, they're going to want a plethora of picks. Because they only got 7 picks. So they're going to want as many as they can get. Tennessee was at the number 4 spot. I think you can still probably get your man if you go to number 6. And the player I think they're thinking the Cowboys will trade up to get would be none other than Sonny Styles. You better believe it, Sub-Zero. Exactly. Appreciate that super chat, Sub-Zero. Any team that is being reported to want to trade down is probably trying to swindle the Cowboys out of both 12 and 20. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Because that's what the suggested Cleveland Browns trade is looking like. They're saying the 12 and the 20. Cowboys get their 6, and we get their number 39th pick. Yeah, get their number 39th pick. And then I'm absolutely like the Tennessee Titans being there is crazy work to me. The Tennessee Titans want to trade out of that number 4 spot is crazy to me because I just don't see how you give up Jeremiah Love. Maybe me and Frank Lawrence and Newhouse are the only ones that are in this boat. But Jeremiah Love is the best player in the draft. Jeremiah Love is the best player in the draft. If I'm a team that doesn't have a running back, I'm getting Jeremiah Love. I'm getting Jeremiah Love. If I'm the Jets, I rescind that tag from Breece Hall. I go and draft Jeremiah Love. If I'm the Arizona Cardinals, I get Jeremiah Love. If I'm the Tennessee Titans, I'm getting Jeremiah Love. I mean, a player like a Jeremiah Love could change life for Cam Ward. If I'm the New York Giants, now the New York Giants probably need an offensive lineman in the grand scheme of things. I mean, they probably do want to trade back because they probably want an offensive lineman. Because what good does it do for them to have Jeremiah Love if they can't even block for him or Jackson Dart? But the Cleveland Browns, it would make sense for me for the Cleveland Browns to want to trade back because I believe the Cleveland Browns, for as bad as they need another wide receiver, I wouldn't keep Jerry Jeudy on my team. I also think they want an offensive lineman, so they're probably looking at trading back and getting an offensive lineman. Washington Commanders, I couldn't see why they wouldn't want Jeremiah Love. But I could also see where if there's somebody on defense, they probably see them further back in the draft, so they would probably want to trade back too. But these are the 5 teams that are saying they want to trade back, and the Cowboys are one of the teams most likely to trade up. I'll be honest with you, man, with the news that we have heard about Caleb Downs, and with the news we've heard about Reuben Bain Jr., I'll be honest with you, Jeremy Betts. If I'm the Cowboys, I'm probably going to stay at 12-20. If I'm the Cowboys, I'm probably going to stay at 12-20. I'm going to see what's going to shake down. I really am. I'm going to see what's going to shake down. I mean, something would seriously have to happen. I don't know. This is a tough situation, depending upon the player that the Cowboys want. But if I were the Cowboys, man, I'd probably be tempted to stand pat. And I'll be honest with you. If you're looking at a linebacker, don't get me wrong, I'd love for the Cowboys to get Jacob Rodriguez. I told y'all before, Jordan Brooks is worth more than a 3rd-round pick. Jordan Brooks is worth more than a 3rd-round pick for the Miami Dolphins. I'd be tempted to get that. I would be tempted to even give the Miami Dolphins that number 20 pick for Jordan Brooks. You won't find a better linebacker in this draft than Jordan Brooks. I would be seriously tempted to give up that number 20 pick for Jordan Brooks. And if the Miami Dolphins will take a 3rd, I'd give away that 3rd in a heartbeat. I wouldn't even blink on that 3rd-round pick. If they would take that, I would have already given that to them if they wanted it. I would have already given that to them. All right, I got another quick hit story for us. That I find to be very, very interesting. Stephen A. Smith was all mad about the fact that Jerry Jones said that if George Pickens didn't have an agent or didn't work through his agent, that he could do better. He would do better on his deal without an agent. And I was telling y'all the other day that these players could do their deal without an agent. They absolutely could. You would just have to get you a sports lawyer, somebody who is well-versed in contracts and putting things in them and all of those things. But you can work these contracts out on your own. I think the thing is, a lot of people just don't like to do it. And so I want to show you this story that was over here on K Adams. This guy named Orlando Brown Jr.
Like what?
He's talking about over here how he worked out his deal without an agent. Check this out.
Were there any hard truths that you had to swallow? I think that's the reason.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. Yeah. What? Because that's a whole thing to be like. I mean, I could go negotiate, but somebody would be like, she's whatever, all the list of things that I'm not great at. And then you're like, excuse me? So tell me about that part.
For sure. Well, I think that's when as a player, you got to separate and understand business is business. And so for me in that position, you know, I already went into it, I want to say emotionless from that perspective, saying, look, man, no matter what they have to say, no matter what it is specifically they want to talk about, I'm going to have an answer for it. And I'm also not going to try to shoot myself in the foot by bringing up anything that they don't bring up. So, you know, there was things that came up in conversation that, you know, I agree with. There was things that came up that I disagree with. But at the end of the day, you know, I put my best business suit on.
Yes.
And you know, just was very straightforward with them, with everything, man. And at the end of the day, this is what I do. This is what I love to do. And I'm in a place where I love to be. And so, to be honest with you, though, in terms of a timeline, I forgot to answer that on a previous question. It probably took somewhere close to a little bit over a month, I would imagine. But once numbers started getting spoken about, I mean, it was one day.
One day.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't, I mean, listen,
You wanna be
if
my
anybody's
agent?
telling you, if anybody's telling you it takes longer than that, normally there's something else going on. So,
Did Lamar inspire you?
I'm telling y'all, for as crazy as people say Jerry Jones is, Jerry Jones, and I even said this when I talked about it. No, Jerry Jones is actually telling the truth. It's a truth that nobody wants to hear, but nevertheless, it's the truth. You got to realize why certain media guys would attack if someone says you can do these things without agents, because they all have agents. And they don't want to look like they're dumb. They don't want to look like, no, we're all dumb, and the few people who don't use agents are dumb. Orlando Brown went out there and worked out his own deal. Lamar Jackson worked out his own deal. And I know why Jerry is influencing this. I also believe Jerry is influencing this. I don't think this is just about players. Jerry is trying to stop these agents from continuing to get more of a foothold in the door of NFL business. I think that's what Jerry is trying to do. They're trying to break the chokehold that these teams have, or that these players have on teams. Jerry's trying to break this chokehold. And believe me when I tell you, you want to know why a lot of the NFL isn't saying anything about it? Because they're trying to do the same thing. They're all trying to figure out how do you get from under the chokehold of these agents. But at the same time, you can work out your deal and be your own agent. Poobie D, you're still answering the question. Lamar Jackson mama didn't have no experience in being no agent. And the reason why Lamar Jackson made his mom his agent is simple. He said he'd rather pay his mom than an agent. The only thing that Lamar Jackson did, and his mom, and it's really Lamar Jackson, they went out there and got them a lawyer. They got them a sports entertainment lawyer to look over the deal. Make sure all the language is right. Make sure everything is in there that you want. Make sure everything. You can do that on your own. This isn't court. Court, you need a lawyer probably. We're talking about football contracts. In the grand scheme of things, just get you a good entertainment lawyer. A sports entertainment lawyer. I'm telling you now, these agents, you don't think they're using lawyers too? Yeah, they know all about contracts, but they're getting lawyers too to look this over, make sure the language is right. Orlando Brown, I'm telling you, he said he put on his best business suit and he went there and did it on his own. I'm sure he got a lawyer to look at it.
Because did Lamar inspire you?
Oh yeah. It's something we've always talked about. You know what I mean? And I think more players.
I guarantee you, Poobie D, she studied contract law. Man, you don't learn contracts that quick. You don't learn contracts like that. At the end of the day, you always get a lawyer. always, I don't care who your agent is, you get you a lawyer. And the reason why you always want to have you a lawyer is because you even want to do the checks and balances on your own agent. Yeah, that's why you have a lawyer. You don't put all of your trust just into the agent. You want to make sure that your lawyer is looking at what he's doing too. Guess what? You can cut out the middleman. Bottom line, just people just don't want to do it. I mean, you know, people can do what they want to do. But you can, and this is the mythology. They scare folks into saying, you can't do this without a lawyer. Of course I want you to believe you can't do without a lawyer. I mean, you can't do this without an agent. If I'm an agent, I want you to believe you cannot do this without an agent. I want you to believe it. And some people just say, I'd rather the agent do it because I don't want to go through all the rigmarole. I got too many other things to do. But you can do this stuff, man. Jerry was right whether people accept it or not. Demetrius said Cristiano Ronaldo didn't need an agent to negotiate his $400 million contract. Yeah, these agents have players believing they are more important than they really are. And Jerry Jones is saying the same thing. Because even Jerry Jones, when Jerry Jones is doing a contract, believe me, they have lawyers. That's all I'm telling you. Well, hey, Richard, they could hire me. I wouldn't be able to help them in that department with them contracts. I could help him in the spiritual department, but not with them contracts. But Orlando Brown, he said he did it his own self. Let me read these super chats real quick, then we're going to hear the rest of Brown. Prince McKellen, what's going on? Appreciate that super chat. Prince McKellen said Dallas and Cleveland swap first-round picks, 12 and 20 for 6 and 24 for Myles Garrett and throw in 2 future first-round picks. Oh, man. That's nice right there. Never thought of that one. Yeah, I didn't think of that one. That would be a perfect trade. I hadn't even heard that one. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I hadn't heard that one before. Give up the 12 and 20 and get the 6 and the 24. Yeah, that's nice right there. Yeah, I like that, Prince McKellen. I'd roll with that. No doubt about it. I'd roll with it. Frank Lawrence said, gee, if Reuben Bain Jr. and Jeremiah Love both fall to 12, I would have to trade up somehow to get both 12 and 13. 12 and 13. These two on the short list to be NFL stars. Yeah, appreciate that super chat. Frank Lawrence, I guess it's just me, you, and Newhouse fan, bro. But that boy Jeremiah Love is the truth, man.
Should do it, man. I think at the end of the day, our word is one of the best things we have as professionals. And so, you know, half the time these teams don't really want to speak to the middleman anyway. They want to be able to talk to the player.
Wait. What did he just say? It's amazing to me that Stephen A. Smith tried to excoriate Jerry Jones. Orlando Brown Jr. just said the quiet part out loud. Most of these teams don't want to talk to the middleman anyway.
And if you got a good understanding of yourself and how to do it, I think, you know, you can get the job done. You know, a lot of guys like Bobby Wagner, Lermy Tunsil, LJ, Lamar, you know, there's been a numerous number of guys to be able to do it and bring in real money.
Easy now.
Now, see, again, he just name dropped some people. I'm going to replay that part. He just name dropped some people and said, obviously, they did their deals without agents. Let's play that part again.
And if you got a good understanding of yourself and how to do it, I think, you know, you can get the job done. You know, a lot of guys like Bobby Wagner, Lermy.
Okay, Bobby Wagner.
Tunsil, LJ.
And we already know Tunsil. We already know Tunsil got big money.
Lamar, you know.
And again, I'm telling us, Lamar Jackson's mom, she's an agent, but she's not an agent in the grand scheme of things. Lamar Jackson would just rather his mom have that money. It makes perfect sense. Keep the money in the family. He said that from the get-go. You can get that money. Now, Poobie D, Orlando Brown Jr. ain't got nothing to do with Jerry Jones. And Orlando Brown Jr. is saying, no, you can do this on your own. And again, Poobie D, Orlando Brown Jr. is stating the facts that people get mad at Jerry about. Orlando Brown got nothing to do with Jerry Jones. He clearly said most teams don't want to deal with the middleman. That ain't a Jerry Jones thing. That ain't a David Mulugeta thing. That isn't a Todd France thing. That is Orlando Brown giving us the truth about contracts. Bottom line. I mean, no matter how we slice it, I mean, Jerry is telling the truth.
There's been a numerous number of guys to be able to do it and bring in real money.
Easy now, because Jerry Jones will trade for you after hearing this.
Yeah, no. That's funny.
Say it, Kay Adams. No, Poobie D, he didn't name one case. He didn't name one case. He named 3 cases, and then he said, and others. He said, and others out there too. See, this is the part that people don't want to talk about. Of course they're going to convince you that you need agents, because what these people are actually trying to do is stop these agents from trying to run the business. That's what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. And again, that's why Kay Adams made that joke at the end, because Jerry Jones said the same thing. I believe it. I absolutely believe it. Because Lamar Jackson and his mom are not the first people to do that. Orlando Brown Jr. are not the first. He's not the first person to do it. There have been others do it too. So I think you made a great point. Johnny Jackson doesn't mean no player bargaining, because Lamar Jackson was out there bargaining. Lamar Jackson was out there fighting for his life. Got his contract. Ron Hanna, yeah, exactly. I mean, Ron Hanna, they want to convince you that you need them. Man, we got to realize something about these agents, man. Yep, they'll get you paid. But at the end of the day, they're trying to get themselves paid too. Poobie D, we gonna see. Higgins fired David Mulugeta. We're gonna see. We don't know where George is yet. He hadn't said a whole lot. We're gonna see for sure. All right, let's get to our last segment for today.
Yes! Here we go!
And this one right here actually comes from DallasCowboys.com. DallasCowboys.com has went around the room. Okay, appreciate your Wisington. Jaden Daniels' mother is his agent. Yeah. Glenn Hairston, I agree with you. They are the ones that's jacking the price up. I agree with you. All right. So now we got over here on DallasCowboys.com. They are talking about all of the mock drafts that are out there for the Dallas Cowboys with their 2 first-round picks. So let's just kind of go down the line and see what they're talking about here. Says only 10 days remain until the Cowboys on the clock in the first round of the 2026 NFL Draft. I am so glad. I don't want to do no mock drafts. I'm tired of seeing mock drafts. All I want to see is who the Cowboys get. Says here it's a pivotal draft for Dallas, who is looking to land difference makers to help turn around a team that went 7-9-1 in Brian Schottenheimer's first year as a head coach. Many have predicted the picks to come on the defensive side of the ball, a unit that is in need of a much better year after being among the worst in franchise history in 2025. Says the good news for the Cowboys is that they'll have 2 picks to look to improve their team and have said repeatedly they're not pigeonholed into drafting defense with one or even both of their picks. What do draft analysts think the Cowboys will do at 12 and 20? Let's find out in this week's mock draft Monday. All right. So we'll look at this for the next 2 weeks. Appreciate you, David Duvall. Yep, Smoke Check said the agent is one of the main reasons the Michael deal went the way it did. Yep. All right. Peter Schrager. Everybody's been talking about Peter Schrager. Somebody said in the chat, I can't remember who it was. Somebody said that Peter Schrager, over the years, have been pretty accurate with his mock drafts. Somebody said Peter Schrager's been pretty accurate. I'm gonna have to go back and do some research on this, and I'll make a show out of it for us. But Peter Schrager is predicting the Cowboys are going to get Caleb Downs at 12 and Akeem Messidor edge from Miami Dolphins at 20. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I do believe Caleb Downs will probably be there for the Cowboys at 12. Akeem Messidor at 20. What are y'all thinking? While y'all are answering that one, I'm going to go to the second one. Rhett Lewis from NFL.com. Rhett Lewis is saying the Cowboys are going to get Jamad McCoy at number 12. Stop it. Man, if the Cowboys go get Jamad McCoy at number 12, it would be one of the most Cowboy things I could remember. He's coming off of an injury, tore his ACL in January 2025. All eyes will be on his pro day. He killed the pro day. The fact that he aced his testing in front of NFL personnel, so all eyes were on his pro day. The fact that he aced his testing in front of NFL personnel should help cement his status as a top-tier corner in this class, and it just so happens the Cowboys need an elite cornerback. I would probably be thinking more of Mansour Delane. I would be thinking more about Mansour Delane. And then at number 20, they got the Cowboys taking Keldrick Falk. I heard somebody say the other day, Keldrick Falk, they didn't think he was that good. But I do say that Keldrick Falk, of all these quote-unquote off-ball linebacker / edge rushers, Keldrick Falk is the one that looks the most like a defensive end. If you are looking for a defensive end, he looks more like a defensive end. And he may be one that could absolutely set the edges for you, especially with some coaching. Says here he's a massive edge rusher who could provide some positional flexibility as Dallas transitions its defense under new coordinator Christian Parker. Yeah. But number 12 for Jamad McCoy, stop it. No. I wouldn't take Jamad McCoy at number 12. Y'all tell me if y'all would. I don't want the Cowboys to get any more of these players coming off injuries. I do not want the Cowboys to get any more of these players coming off injuries. And then you're depending on them to perform, and you're saying they're going to do this, you're saying they're going to do that, and then they turn out and, man, no. Johnny Jackson said, "Are we a hospital team?" Yeah, man, I'm with you. Nah, we can't go this route. For as good as Jamad McCoy was, I just don't believe the Cowboys should go that route. Stick with healthy players. Please, Dallas, stick with healthy players. Now, you can get Jamad McCoy if he falls to the third, or you trade and get a second round, trade back and get a second round and Jamad McCoy's there, okay, maybe in the second or the third. But as a number 12 overall pick, Jamad McCoy, and had he not been injured, he probably would be, but nah, I'm not with that one. All right. Nate Tice for Yahoo Sports. Keldrick Falk at number 12? Wow. Falk's draft position varies wildly from evaluator to evaluator. I'm personally a fan who is willing to bet on his youth. He turns 21 in September. S-tier run-stopping ability and pocket-pushing upside. But I understand if his lack of pass rush production and refinement could have you taking more of a glass-half-empty outlook. The Cowboys need to keep bolstering their defense to match their potentially high-octane offense, and nabbing Falk would add even more stoutness to the reworked front with the added bonus of having experience playing from inside as well. Second time I've seen Keldrick Falk on here. What are y'all thinking about Keldrick Falk? I've heard a lot of people say no on Keldrick Falk. Number 20 at cornerback. It is obvious the Cowboys want a cornerback bad. Colton Hood, cornerback out of Tennessee. Says Cowboys look to take the best player at the cornerback position who can hang on the outside. In this exercise, that ends up being the talented Hood. The other Tennessee corner near the top of this draft class is a dynamic player in his own right, and he would give the Cowboys another body to throw at a position that has Savon Revel Jr., who has size and talent, but was recovering from a college injury, and recently signed Kobe Durant, a stopgap option for Dallas, who I actually liked as a middle-class ad. Cornerbacks can be looked at as like pitchers in baseball. You can't have enough of them. Here we go again. Mike Renner, CBS Sports. Jamad McCoy, number 12. I'm struggling with this one. McCoy didn't play this past fall, but that likely won't stop the Cowboys from adding what could be a number one corner at the next level. His ability in man coverage is second to none in this draft class. Jamad McCoy killed the pro day. 4.37 40. Killed the pro day. Got to give it to him. Man, let me tell y'all something. I think Brian Schottenheimer also has been dropping some seeds that we need to be very careful of. When they're saying that they're not going to rule out offense, we better stop playing. We're thinking wide receiver or if Jeremiah Love is there. We better stop playing. What if Spencer Fano is there at number 20? And that would tell you exactly where they are with one Guyton. I'm telling y'all, man, we better be careful on the Cowboys, these doggone with these doggone offensive linemen hanging around up in there. Spencer Fano may slip due to length concerns, and if he does, the Cowboys would have no issue adding him to a burgeoning offensive line. He could eventually replace Terrence Steele at the right tackle and give Dallas one of the NFL's best run blocking lines. Y'all don't throw this out the window. Do not throw this out the window. Gennaro Felice, probably butchered that name. Obviously, it says the Cowboys projected to trade with the Cardinals. He believes the Cowboys will trade with the Cardinals. Go all the way up to the third and get David Bailey. It says in lying season, it's impossible to know when you can take people at their word. But with Dallas holding 2 first-round picks for the first time since 2008, Jerry Jones recently acknowledged that he has pondered making a move. I've looked at that mirror a lot about how to go up and down and trade and do those kinds of things, the Cowboys owner said at the annual league meeting. Johnny Jackson said whoever makes those mocks, they hate Dallas. Reggie said, don't clap that, G. It says whatever Jerry ultimately decides to flip those 2 first-rounders, number 12 and 20 for the third overall draft slot, where he can snatch up last season's FBS co-leader in sacks. The Cowboys acquired the number 20 in the Michael Parsons trade, so it's narratively attractive to use it to acquire fresh edge terror. And I like how this hypothetical deal resets the board in today's thought and experiment. Yeah. Wow, smoke check, boy. You better not say that in some circles, smoke check. You said it in some circles, you're going to have a fight on your hand. Man, don't you dare say David Bailey is better than Michael coming out, in my opinion. Boy, they'll fight you. But I'll tell you this, Smoke. I'm going to be honest with you. That dude, David Bailey, boy, the speed and the quickness, it's next level. Now, if they get their hands on him, it's probably going to be a problem. I mean, he might not be able to shed them blocks as well. But when you talk about just...
Is there any, like, hard truths
when you talk about
swallow?
just
I think that's...
overall speed, whew. David Bailey with speed and quickness is crazy with it, man. He crazy with it. Yeah, he's absolutely crazy with that game. But a lot of people, man, they keep talking about the Cowboys trading up. Hold on, this is let's listen to Dane Brugel over here. Just saw this come up.
It's not out there yet, but I did have picks 12 and 20 going to the Browns at 6 for picks 6 and 39. And so for the Cowboys, I think it makes sense because they're going up to 6 to get. They're not going to wait at 12 and hope the guy they want falls them. They're going to go up to 6 and get them. And then it costs you both first round picks, but you get back in the second round now because they currently don't have a second round pick. And so I think the player that they could get at 20 isn't all that different than the player they're going to get at 39. I think they'll have those guys pretty closely ranked. And so in this scenario, going with a guy like Stukes at 39, I think really helps their secondary from day one. It's another older player. Stukes is going to be a 25-year-old rookie, former walk-on, someone that's played corner, played safety, but really played his best this past year as a nickel.
Yeah, obviously for a guy that's really athletic and somebody that it perfectly kind of encapsulates that Christian Parker defense. And this is going to be a talking point throughout the course of the draft, and it probably has been throughout the offseason already, is that, like, can Christian Parker find his Cooper DeJean? This is how this always goes. Former coach, like, hit this role in the defense, even though it's like, yeah, that probably existed because Cooper DeJean is really awesome. Nevertheless, like, you do still need this type of player to really make this defense go. So that makes a lot of sense. And I also love that you have them trading up into the top 10, because I think you hit on two big themes about this draft.
Jose Malik's still here.
The Cowboys trying to fix their defense here in one strike, which is one, like, at 12, there's probably a pretty significant drop off to the guys that are going to go early on in the draft. I do think, like, how many true first round grades do you actually have in this class, Dane?
I have 14. But and that's even fudging it a little bit. Like I think Mekhi Lemon's my last first round grade, and that's just. I like the tape so much that I'm just going to, even though I don't, the profile isn't traditionally what I would give a first round grade to. I love the tape that much. But I mean, to the Cowboys sitting at 12, they might be stuck in a spot where, it's Venga Ioane and, some good players there. But, we did this last year where they struck out. And so they went with Tyler Booker, who really good player, upgrades their offensive line. But I don't think was option A, B, or C with who they were hoping would fall to them. And so this is a team with a win now window, and I won't be surprised at all if they get aggressive to maybe make sure they get, whether it's Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, one of these pass rushers, whoever it may be, won't be surprised at all if they're a little aggressive to make sure they go get them.
Right. If it's 14 true first round grades for you, yeah, one of them will be available at 12. But yeah, what if it's Mekhi Lemon? Like, they don't necessarily, depending on what's going to happen with George Pickens, like, theoretically, they don't need another receiver. Right. Especially, they don't really need, like, a slot-based player because they have CeeDee Lamb to be doing all that stuff. Like, Ryan Flournoy gave him some really good reps as a movement Z slot option last year. So it says that's difficult there for this team, where if you get up into the top to really take one of these potential big defensive difference makers, that's a key theme. And as you mentioned,
any of y'all familiar with Traden Stukes? I'm gonna have to look this guy up.
Because of the lack of, like, true first round grades, there's a flattening from, I don't know, pick 15, 20 all the way down to 40, 45, and you're taking kind of from the same pool there. So I think in one fell swoop here, Dane, you told the listeners and the viewers, like, two big lessons about the draft, all while making it about a very popular team, the Dallas Cowboys. So that's a good job by you.
I mean, hey, blind squirrel. Like, they're interesting because I like, they need a linebacker in a big way. Like, I don't know that there's someone on the roster right now they feel 100% comfortable wearing that green dot. And so, okay, Do we go get a Sonny Styles? How do we feel about Jacob Rodriguez? But we don't have that second round pick. So will we take a linebacker at 20 if we don't get Styles at 12? So there's just a lot of different ways they could attack this. And I think that's what makes the Cowboys one of the more interesting teams on Thursday night of the draft, just to see their plan and how aggressive they get.
Oh, the TV producers across the country are just so excited that you just said that. So there's no doubt more excitement is building for this NFL draft.
Man, I'm telling y'all right now, the Cowboys are going to be must-watch TV on draft night. The Cowboys, to me, are the biggest story of the draft night because we're still dealing with those picks for Micah Parsons. And so the Cowboys, in the eyes of the court of public opinion, they have to make those 2 picks count. What are they going to get for those 2 picks? To really say the Cowboys won the trade, and what will be the result when you get those 2 picks? The Cowboys have really got to hit on the picks in this draft. They got to hit, man. They got to hit. Demetrius Noel, I'll be honest with you, this is the first one where I've actually, on that mock draft, I'm not buying half the stuff on that mock draft. But what do you think about Peter Schrager? I mean, a lot of people say Peter Schrager has been pretty accurate on these on these mock drafts in the past. So, but I really think unless there is something the Cowboys know, if I were the Cowboys, I would stay where I am. Because I just don't think anybody could fall to 12. There could be multiple people falling to 12. There's no telling what some of these teams going to do. Man, people got their idea of what every single team is going to do, and they've come up with all these mock drafts, and everybody is saying this and saying that. Man, at the end of the day, when it's all going to come down to it, I guarantee you there'll be 2 or 3 teams before the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to pick a player that was on nobody's radar. They're going to pick a player that's going to shock everybody that wasn't on anybody's radar. It's that kind of year. There are no great quarterbacks in the draft, I guess maybe other than Mendoza. There's no great quarterbacks. There's only really one premier running back. Even when you look at the wide receivers, you probably want to get them further back. In other drafts, even these defensive players wouldn't even be rated as probably top 15 players. So in this draft, it's going to be all about scouting. And teams are going to really have to do their homework. They're going to have to do their homework to the degree of they can't just go with the hype of who are the best players. They're literally going to have to say, I got to get the player that fits our scheme. We got to get a player that fits our scheme. And if it's not these players that people have ranked in the top 11 players, the Dallas Cowboys have got to get somebody that fits their scheme. I got a strange feeling that Christian Parker would lose his mind over a player like Reuben Bain Jr. I really do. I think he would lose his mind over a Reuben Bain Jr. D. Natty said this draft is going to be interesting. It is absolutely going to be interesting. The Cowboys are going to be must watch. They will absolutely be must watch. And, you know, of course, for us, it'll be must watch. Oh, you said he went to Oklahoma, Bob Stoops' son. Who, the Trading Dukes guy? Let me see. Let me look. Let's look this up before we leave out of here. But again, you know, kind of looking at this mock draft and what everybody keeps talking about in these mock drafts. I mean, man, we're talking about teams in the grand scheme of things too. Man, the New York Jets is such a poorly ran franchise. Who knows what the New York Jets are going to do on draft night? Who knows? And I think, you know, some are saying that the draft actually starts around round 5 or 6. I say it starts at number 2. Because I think Fernando Mendoza is the only one that everybody has pretty much said this is a sure number 1 pick. But 2, 3, who knows? Who knows? Orville Reese, David Bailey, who knows? It could be Jeremiah Love at the number 3 spot. You know, you just never know. So that first round is going to be incredible. The first round of the draft is going to be incredible. So I'm here for it. All right, man. I appreciate y'all rocking with me today. Sorry I missed yesterday. I had some things came up. But again, man, this draft is going to be, man, I am so glad we're only 10 days away. 10 days. It will be on and popping. And my plan is, unless something comes up, we are going to do the draft show all 3 days. Let me see here. When is the... what's that draft schedule? What is that draft schedule? So it begins Thursday at 8 p.m. So I'm sure we're going to begin our draft show. We'll begin our draft show probably at 7 p.m. Day 1, 7 p.m. We'll start Thursday at 7 p.m. We're going to start day 2. We'll start day 2 probably around 6 p.m. And then on day 3 of Saturday, we're going to probably start around 11 a.m. And we are going to be from the beginning to the end of the draft. End of the draft. I mean, man, I'm telling you, day 1 is going to be exciting for the Cowboys. And I am not going to be surprised if the Cowboys try to trade back and get back into more of day 2. Right now, the Cowboys only have that 3rd round. I will not be surprised if they try to get themselves another 3rd rounder. Maybe even a 2. You never know. And then day 3. Day 3 is where you get some good role players too. So everybody's only talking about day 1. Who do they get with that 3rd round pick? Who do they get with the 5th pick? You know, who do they get with those? So it's going to be exciting, man. It's going to be exciting. I'm ready. Tired of the mock drafts. Tired of them already. But we're going to have the real deal in 10 days. All right, man. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. More videos coming tonight. More videos coming tomorrow morning. And then we'll be right back at the show tomorrow. We're going to be back at an earlier time, probably around 4 to 4:30, like we normally try to do. But again, appreciate y'all rocking with me. Until the next time, TC4L, God bless. Let's talk Cowboys and we talk facts. Peace.